I knew at 16 I was not going to school.
Okay.
I swear. I mean, I always knew, my work ethic could get me somewhere. I always think, just my opinion, college is a scam.
If I could continue this, I definitely could change my family's life. So that's really what that check made me realize for sure.
What's up, everyone? Today we got Darius and Clay here. One of the questions I get asked all the time is how do you get started in real estate and at what age can you get started in real estate? 18 years old, 19 years old, just recently did their first real estate deal, a wholesale deal, made 5 figures, and that's what we're breaking down today, exactly how they got into the business, how they did it, and hopefully answer some questions for you guys so you can get started as quickly as possible. This is Austin Rutherford, where we talk business, finance, and real estate. So I appreciate you both being here today.
Definitely.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. So, kind of tell them who you are, where you from, and I guess, how long you kind of been marketing real estate for.
All right. I'm Darius, Darius Whitfield, and been in real estate for about 1.5 years, but I consistently got into it heavy about 7 months ago. I'm from Lorain, Ohio, moved to Columbus, been out here basically my whole life, and yeah.
So 1.5 years, but started playing with it at the beginning, but didn't really go like all in.
Yeah. So I was, at the beginning, it was more so like, I was 16, 17 at the time, trying to get my feet wet. Like taking a lot of information, but not really taking action with the information. Or when I took action, I was kind of scared and stuff like that. I had that fear on the phones. But, we buckled down about 6, 7 months ago. I was like, we're going to take this serious. Every month we're going to set enough funds so we can make sure we get our marketing out. And that's what really turned it around.
I love it. We're all fearful at the beginning. It's the fear of the unknown. But when you're fearful and uncomfortable, that's when you got a time for growth. So I love it.
My name's Clay Stiltner, from Columbus all my life. We are actually business partners, but yeah, we just got our first deal.
Let's get it.
So yeah, let's get it.
I love it. So to kind of go back to what you said earlier, again, everybody loves the idea of getting into real estate. Everybody wants to be a real estate investor, but most people never get to the actual action-taking side of it. So I know you said you got in like 1.5 years ago, but you started taking it serious about 6 months ago. What changed that? What took it from like an idea to something like you actually wanted to achieve?
So what really was the turning point was really sitting down and being serious. Like, there's some people making some big money in this stuff. Being young is not an excuse. Like, clearly there's no age demographic in this game. Like, if you got the tools, if you got the knowledge, you're gonna make some money. So once we realized that, it was more so let's stop, playing around. Plus, it was the summer of our senior year, so it was really more so like, all right, it's real life now. It's no longer in high school. Like, It's time to make some changes.
You grew up.
Yeah, for sure. So once we sat down on June 12th was the day. We sat down, deciphered what marketing we was going to take seriously, when we was going to send out the marketing, how much we were going to spend those throughout the months. And, once we did that, it was the game changer. But the changing point was realizing that, there's some big money in this game. There's no point in just, tapping your feet in the water, just getting the full tub. So
I love it. Everyone always says like they don't have money to start, right? And we were all broke to start.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating that. So where'd you get the money from to spend on marketing, and how did it feel to like actually be spending money on marketing and not seeing an immediate ROI or return on investment?
So I know, Darius, worked a few jobs. I worked with you, but I did landscaping, from when I was 14. Always really had a job, just saved up some money. I've always been a saver, but when you have money in the bank account, it's just sitting there.
Yep.
Yeah, and so when real estate really sparked my interest, I just had some money, saved up, and every week, I'd put a little money in that too. So working 40, 50-hour weeks, you still got to pay marketing, everything for that. So
yeah. So and then as far as like actually spending it and not seeing like money come back in, you spend it and it takes some time in real estate. How did that feel to like be investing money and not seeing that immediate ROI?
it was like it wasn't like we were pressed that we weren't seeing that immediate ROI, because we know it's gonna happen. It's just time got to catch up. We invest and we doing the right stuff at the right time. We ahead of the game. You can't rush that process. You got to trust the process. So really, when we was putting that money into it, we wasn't really looking at it like, dang, we throwing $1,000, out of our pockets and nothing's happening. Like, no, we investing $1,000 every month. The return on investment is gonna happen, and it's gonna be double, triple, times 5 the amount that we invested. So it was more so having that in our back of mind and not looking at it like we're spending money, we're investing money. So that's what really changed our mindset about that.
No, I love what you said, that most people see it as a cost. Like, how much does this cost? It's not the right question. It's what type of investment can I make? Because it always comes back tenfold. I say all the time, like, it's never a matter if something's going to happen. It's only a matter of when something's going to happen.
For sure.
So, that's, you guys are true testaments to that.
Yeah.
Month after month after month after month, and then something finally popped.
Yeah, we were just looking at it, the bigger picture, Yeah, we got to make some sacrifices now, but down the road, it's going to be way worth it.
Exactly.
For sure.
And it wasn't like, when we're young, we don't got 2 kids, a dog, and some rent to take care of.
No responsibility.
Exactly. So every check that we had, every paycheck I got from my job, strictly into the business. And it was like before I was investing into the business for the marketing, I was like, I had bad money habits. I was really bad with my money, and I was spending on stupid stuff. But once I developed something I could invest into my business that I know is going to bring me a big return, it was like I was all in on my money. Like, I sold a lot of my clothes, a lot of my shoes.
Wait a minute. So Darius works in my office sometimes, and he came in sweatpants all day, every day. I was like, "Yo, you got like some jeans you can wear?" He's like, "Nope, I sold them for marketing."
Yeah, I gave rid of about half of my closet. Yeah, bro, it got to because I was working with we needed some funds for like some skip tracing and the phone burner. And it was like, check ain't hit yet, so I got to make something straight to get this money in. So I went ahead and did that. But yeah, it was worth it for sure.
Dedication. Like, everyone always makes the excuse, I don't have time. I didn't grow up wealthy. Like, nobody, some people did. But a lot of people that have money did not grow up wealthy, but they figure out a way. Whether that's working 56 hours a week, whether that's selling your clothes out of your closet, whether that's working 3 jobs a day, like whatever it is, you always find a way to figure it out. So I love that. I love that.
And we take passion out that because we really truly got it out the mud.
For sure.
There was no handouts.
Got it out the closet.
Yeah, we grinded for this. So
that's a great question. So like, what's your guys' upbringing? Like, were you handed a silver spoon? Like, what was it like?
I mean, I come from separated parents, so single mom. She's always working. I mean, my dad, he came around my life around like 14 or whatever, but, he's always been there. He's always been a hard work, and I feel like I really got that hard work ethic from him. Yeah. But he was in like Nationwide or whatever, the corporate life.
Yep.
And then, things just didn't work out with that. He started his own landscaping business, and, I was there to help him out, but, it wasn't, the first couple years are always a struggle, especially in any type of business. So, I mean, Gehenna's nice, don't get me wrong, but, nothing was really handed to me.
Yeah, so didn't get handed like a real estate portfolio, never got handed a whole bunch of money, never had like a boatload of stuff, but like, you were able to survive, obviously. Yeah, no silver spoon.
No.
Love it.
So how I grew up was I was raised by a single mother for about 8-9 years of my life. Dad was in and out the penitentiary. So I saw a lot. My mother made it happen regardless. That's where I get a lot of my hard work from, is my mom. Her work ethic is unmatched. She made it happen no matter what. And my pops, he was in the penitentiary, but he was always a hustler. Like, he always knew how to make some money. So that's where, like, I get a lot of my natural born tactics from my dad, and it comes to the business world because, being brought up by him in and out the penitentiary, you learn some stuff regular people don't learn because, their dad isn't involved in that type of lifestyle. So I like to say I got best of both worlds, with my mom moving out here to get Columbus and us staying out here, and then my dad, being where he's from and the life he lived, I learned, you can make one wrong move and you're in the same position as my dad. You can make one right move and you change the whole family's life. So, I stuck with that, and definitely shaped who I am today. It was my father and my mom, and definitely nothing handed out. We worked for everything we got.
For sure. And I'm saying that's a lot of the stories of entrepreneurs. They work, put the work in. There's no shortcut. Work is the shortcut. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So all right, let's get into like the how-tos and stuff. One question I got before that for both of you. When I grew up, my mother always told me like, go to school, graduate, and get a job. So I started going to college because my parents wanted me to go to college. I dropped out after doing some deals and making money. But what was that like for you guys? Like, were you going to college? Was that the plan, or like what was it?
It's never really been the plan. I knew at 16 I was not going to school.
Okay.
I swear. I mean, I always knew, my work ethic could get me somewhere. I always think, just my opinion, college is a scam. But I mean, the most
said it, not me.
is from college debt. So, I just thought, my work ethic could get me somewhere. So figured I'd take my shot and go into entrepreneurship.
Were your parents down for that?
No.
So they wanted you to take the college route.
Yeah.
What I guess finally convinced them, or are they convinced yet?
Once they saw the deal.
Once they saw the check?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. How about you?
So yeah, for me, I knew I wasn't going to college like in 7th grade. I was never good at school. I'm just gonna keep it real. Never was good at school. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get above a C. So like at that point, I realized like college is just out the question. I got to develop a plan and make it happen. But once I developed my plan, like I said, sophomore, junior year, I brought it to my parents. Now I never told them that I wasn't going to school because during the time I was playing baseball, and like I was having all these talks like, yeah, I'm gonna go to school and play ball and stuff like that. If I had the opportunity, but deep down I knew like even if the opportunity was presented to me, I wasn't gonna go. But how I presented to my mom was, I had this idea. She was not with it. It was my dad that was on board. But she saw how hard I was working towards it and how my passion towards the real estate game and, learning, my learning process, her waking up to me on the computer in the computer room while she's getting ready for work and stuff like that. So that really showed her, what I want. This is what I want. So I don't really want school. So she started to develop like, okay, my son got a dream and a plan. So I'm going to stick with it and support him. So
I love it. I love it. So you don't have to follow what your parents wanted all the times. There are other options out there.
Yeah, sure.
I love it. All right, so how-tos, first steps. That decision on June 16th, 12th?
June 12th, yeah.
June 12th to like, all right, let's do it. What were the first steps? What was the first thing that got put in motion?
Personally, I just realized, we just needed a system, phone system, at least, bare minimum. So we just got a dialer,
So what's a dialer for the people that don't know?
Dialer, so when you're making cold calls, you got to dial every single number. But with the dialer, you plug in the list and it dials it for you, so you don't have to dial every single number.
So you save time, able to call more people in a shorter amount of time.
Yep.
All right, cool. So first thing was get the dialer.
Yeah, and then we kind of realized our strengths and weaknesses. So Darius, he's a good people's person. He's very good on the phones.
I'm just kidding.
Very good on the phones, and me, I'm kind of more, the technical guy. I like to do more of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So, we've really developed our own roles in the business. And then I can't remember when we started getting Podio.
Oh yeah, we got the next step after all, developing, the phone burner, getting the consistent, the list of that we went for driving for dollars.
So the first list you got was driving for dollars.
Yeah.
So just explain what driving for dollars is.
So that's basically where you go out, in your car, drive around neighborhoods, look for distressed properties, bad roof or high grass, gutters falling off, anything that, would tell that the property is distressed. Write that address down, the street name, the street number, and then, just continue going up and down streets and neighborhoods and writing those stuff down. And then once you have that list, that's your driving for dollars list, phone, street name, street address, and zip code. And then you go ahead and take that and implement it into your calling. And that's how we got started with our first ever list.
So drive up and down, write down addresses, go to the auditor to put the address in, you get the owner's name, and then take the owner's name and skip trace them to get a phone number, to put it in the phone system to start calling people.
For sure. Yep.
Cool.
So we had that, and then we put that into phone burner, because prior to phone burner, I was making straight calls, 1, 2, 3, 4 call, 1, 2, 3, 4 call, and it would be like, we got like 200 leads to call, and it's 3 numbers per lead, 3, 2, 1 each lead. That's a lot of damn calls. So we definitely, changed up how we were making calls, because it was like, I was making calls, but it was like, I'll take 3 hours to get through 40 people.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's got to be something faster than this. So that's when we got the dialer. And then from the dialer, we put in a CRM system. So once we got interested leads from the dialer, we go ahead and implement it to our Podio. So we have our leads tracked and in place, because we learn pencil and paper. You could easily have stuff slip through the cracks, or forget to follow up with the lead, or just little stuff. Leaving some notes out and stuff like that. So definitely the CRM system, the Podio, was a huge help.
So CRM and Podio is where you put all the interested sellers, so you don't lose track of them, so you can see hot and cold and interested and not interested. It's just a centralized database.
Yep.
Cool.
For sure.
So get the driving for dollars list, start cold calling, get Podio up and rolling. What was next after that? Did you buy any lists ever, or?
We used Propstream. You can pull just your regular high equity list off there. I
What,
believe
what's
that's
it? 10,000 records you can pull.
yeah, a month, 10,000 a month for $100. So
Yeah,
that's not
and if
bad.
I think list source is like 15 cents. So 10,000 records for $100 compared to list source, which would be $1,500. So yeah, we use Propstream as well. If you want to check out Propstream, click the link in the description. But yeah, it's a game changer for us too.
For real. And you can run comps on there, which is even better. So if you don't have access to the MLS.
Yeah, we pull lists, we run comps, we find cash buyers. It's definitely a game changer.
So I mean, we just noticed, with the driving for dollars list, a lot of people were doing them, and these homeowners, they were getting their phones were blowing up and their texts and all that stuff, so they weren't really happy to talk to us. So figured out, why not try a high equity list, because that's one of the best lists you can pull, I believe. And then we just
high equity means that they owe little to the amount of the prop. So if it's worth 200 grand, they owe like 10, 20, 50, 100 grand. They got plenty of equity in the list.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So then we just started implementing Propstream in there. We could get a lot more leads or a less amount of time. Driving it took a while. And then we just started implementing that. And also we tried bandit signs. We used to wake up on Fridays
that didn't work for
at
me,
5 a.m. But never really worked out. But we really did realize all of our leads were coming from calling.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So we just really buckled down on that, and we knew sooner or later our time would come.
For sure.
So let's get the cat out of the bag. You just said calling is where the most leads come from, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many phone calls did y'all make to get the first deal?
We made 20,000.
20,000 phone calls. 20,000.
Yeah,
See, most people give up in like 50 phone calls or 100 phone or even 1,000 phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
20,000 phone calls.
Yeah, so I mean, what really kept us going was pushing through the 20,000 was, you call 100 people and 100 say no, that 101 could be the $20,000 deal that you've been praying for.
Yep.
So it didn't happen in the hundreds, but it happened in the thousands. We got to 15,000, dang. This next 1,000 it could happen, didn't happen. This next 1,000 it could happen, didn't happen. 5,000 calls later, it happened. So it's all about timing and essence and staying consistent.
I love it. So it was a wholesale deal, the first deal. Mm-hmm. So you put in contract with the seller, found a buyer. How much money y'all made?
11 G's.
11,000?
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did it feel to have that check?
It felt good.
I mean,
It
it was a different type of feeling. Like, it felt surreal, but then it was like, this is what you've been working for, you know. But it also felt like, this ain't the end. Like, this is literally the start.
Just the beginning.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it definitely made me realize, like, damn, like, this shit right here could change my life. Like, this really is producing some big numbers that, like, probably my parents ain't touching in a month. 11,000 1 month, parents ain't making that for sure. So if I could continue this, I definitely could change my family's life. So that's really what that check made me realize for sure.
For sure. It's it makes it real. Like, we always have that. We know it's real because, like, we see other people doing it. But when you hold that check yourself, it's like, all right, this is like really, really real.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, that's awesome. And one of the first questions I asked them when they told me about that deal, I was like, all right, cool. What are you gonna do with the money? So what'd you guys do with the 11,000?
Well, our big thing was we did hire a cold caller.
Love it.
Outsourced that, and also got into SMS.
Text messaging.
Yep. And
Bought some data.
Yeah, data. A lot of data.
Reinvested it.
All of it.
Yeah.
All.
Did you guys go like on a trip or
No.
buy a Gucci bag or anything like that?
No.
I love it. I love it.
Pointless to do that.
For sure.
Hit the money.
You gotta stay down till you get up.
For sure. You gotta give up the present value for a greater future value.
Mm-hmm.
Most people get a check like that, they go out and spend it. And then they're right back to the daily hustle. You actually invested into the business like y'all did. That's how you start getting ahead. So I love it. You've been doing it for 6-7 months now. Got the first deal. If you could go, and this is a question for both of you guys, I want separate answers. If you could go back to the beginning, would you have done anything differently?
I'm gonna need some time.
For me, if I would have done anything differently, I don't think I would have done anything differently besides, don't be afraid to make that next call. Like, I would hop on the phones and stuff, and when we called like 20 people, but it'd be like, I'd be like, dang, I really don't want to make this call right now. Like, I don't want to do that. That would be the only thing I'll change, would be my mindset on the making the calls. Like, it's not just you ringing to a phone, like a home seller, you know, this could be a life-changing call that you having.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing I'll change, but from us, you know, being in it and then like tapping our feet into the wall, I think that was all part of the process, you know, with us truly, you know, developing the understanding of the game, understanding how business goes, because real estate is not just real estate, it's a business, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have good business ethics, you got to know you're doing business with good people, and you got to be a good business person.
For sure.
So, you know, while we was tapping our feet, you know, into the water, going to the real estate meetups all around Columbus and stuff like that for about a year, you learned a lot, you know, by hearing different investors, you know, hearing, you know, people speak on the stage, and just hearing convos about the real estate world in the market that we're in. It allowed us to fully understand, like, dang, this is more than just buying and selling houses. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business in itself. So I truly believe that was all part of the process.
For sure. So you guys love the journey.
Yeah.
You fell in love with it, but maybe fall in love with it with a little bit more.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I got you.
For
I
sure.
got you. How about you? Anything
Yeah,
different?
Honestly, I would have just, you know, implemented systems quicker. You know,
Okay.
they make it a lot more easier when you have the right systems in place.
So,
that's
like-
really the only thing.
Like CRMs,
yeah,
phone
just
systems?
like I would have got that just first thing.
Got you.
If I would, it just makes, cause like, you know, our dialer had one, but it's nothing like Podio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a game changer, especially when you just have organization. Like, I just feel like once you're all organized and stuff, it really helps you, you know, produce.
For sure. For sure. So got another one in contract, and you got more in the pipeline. So what we gonna do this year? 100K?
Yeah, 100K by December 31st.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Nah, that's awesome. You know, super happy for you guys. Everyone always says, like, you know, age is an excuse, but you can start at any. The day you turned 18 was the day y'all got the LLC, right?
Yeah. So we started up the LLC January 10th, 2020 on my 18th birthday, and then on January 18th, 2021, we closed the deal. So
Year later.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
for sure.
No, that's phenomenal. Super happy for the both of you. You know, again, people give age as an excuse, old or young. They think like because you're old or young, can't do it. People give money as an excuse. You know, I didn't come from money. You know, I wasn't handed a bunch of money. That's obviously false. You guys are another living proof of that. And, you know, work is the secret. 20,000 phone calls. Most
Yeah.
people would never do anything close to that. You know what I mean? It took me 16 months to make a penny. It took y'all 20,000 phone calls. Normally people give up before then. So hats off to the two of you. You know, I'm very excited to see what all you guys got in store for the rest of this year.
Definitely, bro. I appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. So anybody who wants to tap in with you guys, where can they find you? What social media platforms are you on?
IG, you can find me at Darius Whitfield _ and Twitter. If you want to follow me on there too, Darius TOOO _ Darius.
You got the Twitter fingers?
Yeah, it gets a little rowdy on Twitter. So
we'll link them in the description as well, so you can find them there.
Yeah, and just on Instagram, really, it's just Clay J Stiltner STILTNER.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you guys being here.
Appreciate you.
You know, you already know anything you need, let me know.
For sure.
But thank you everyone else for being here and watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.